Business time.
We're recording, Steve.
That's okay.
That would be perfect for the intro. Thank you very much. Welcome, everyone. It's a pleasure to have you there on episode 3. I don't know, I lost count, but we spoke last time with AJ and Steve about the internet in the Philippines. What was that all about, Steve?
Yeah, I think we sort of finished the last episode with AJ making the point about how safety was kind of the bottom layer, Wi-Fi being a safety aspect, bottom layer of the pyramid for survival and actualization. Maybe AJ can remind us. But
There's a Maslow hierarchy of needs.
There we go.
Yeah.
Maslow, is it?
Yeah, Maslow.
Hierarchy of needs, and Wi-Fi is number one. Yeah. I mean, I feel the same, you know. If I had to go without Wi-Fi for a few days, it'd be pretty rough.
Yeah, without Wi-Fi or Wi-Fi, same thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, the importance of the internet. And then we ended up, I think, talking about Hurricane Helene, and that was something that World Mobile did back in September last year. And AJ, we've asked you to watch a little documentary that World Mobile did. So maybe I think it'll be good if we show everyone here I think it was a minute and a half, the trailer.
Yeah, just a little trailer, but I think AJ's watched the full thing, which I think was around half an hour, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, just under half an hour.
Yeah. So let me bring in that trailer. I'm just going to play that for everyone's sake.
We are coming on the air with breaking news as Hurricane Helene gets closer to making landfall. Helene will be the strongest hurricane to hit the U.S. in over a year.
They don't have running water. Internet and cell service are also out.
A lot of issues with water, connectivity, like people can't even communicate.
There you go. How was that? That's pretty intense, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was a great documentary we had there. A bit of background, Steve. Do you have some data on Hurricane Helene, maybe?
Yeah, let me bring that up. Here we go. So Hurricane Helene was September 2024. It's a Category 4 hurricane, 225 kilometre-hour winds, 250 deaths, and then 3.5 million people were offline, lost access to the internet. So being at the base of that pyramid, I'm sure that was something that needed rectifying, and luckily World Mobile was able to get in there with access to a Black Hawk helicopter and fly around and liaise with Starlink and get people back online to help coordinate disaster relief and contact loved ones and let them know they're all right, all that kind of thing. Yeah, but you saw the documentary, AJ. What did you think?
Yeah, it was pretty impactful. I was blown away by just how agile it was for World Mobile to step in with seemingly, for the impact that it had, minimal equipment. I think I remember they had about 4 suitcases of equipment that they used, and you could hear from the stories of some of the people just how appreciative they were to be able to contact loved ones. There was one example of a sheriff who was in a fairly remote area, and he was struggling to get the latest updates in his work to be able to respond to different issues. And also he was struggling to contact his loved ones to make sure that they were okay and to let them know that he was okay. So I think, on a personal note, I really related to that kind of situation. I've got family members that are first responders, so I know how much of a difference, peace of mind wise, it makes to be able to have that connectivity. So that's something that stood out for sure.
Yeah, I think as you mentioned, in terms of response and speed, that was something that was really, really well received by not only the community, but the guys over at SpaceX Starlink, because we came in literally, I think, setting up one of those nodes. So those nodes were CBRS nodes. And AJ, so CBRS is a spectrum in America that luckily is a publicly available. I think we just need to apply for using it. But
this is citizen band radio,
yes,
so it's basically open to all. Yeah.
And since we can broadcast on that spectrum, we were able, I think within 30 minutes or even after that, just the nodes were configured within 15 minutes, just to plug in, having a Starlink as a backhaul, and just pushing out to kilometers. I think maybe at least 5 kilometer radius depending on the terrain. But pushing that signal and to get the surrounding community connected together. And we saw in the documentary the engineer from SpaceX, from Starlink, that was coordinating all the efforts, really seeing the potential of, I think, reducing by 20 or 30 the amount of Starlink terminals that he would have had to bring in just to connect everyone back. That was something like this. So speed of execution, and World Mobile has a premium solution, something that's been fine-tuned and well-oiled, so we can just deploy, almost like a plug and play.
And this whole thing actually kicked off because of a community member that had been affected, was in the area, and reached out to World Mobile and said, "Hey guys, what can we do?" And they jumped on board straight away, and it was great to see. And I think this is worthwhile looking at in terms of the Philippines, because the Philippines is quite a disaster-prone area. It has a lot of, quite a variety of natural disasters that happen. There was a typhoon. There was a typhoon in 2013 that wiped out communication across provinces there for weeks at a time. There's earthquakes that damage infrastructure and cables and all that sort of stuff. And people losing power, which takes out the connectivity and so on.
Let me bring up that slide, actually, Steve.
Oh, yeah, bring up your slide.
Here's something I prepared earlier.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen this, but mind-blowing when I saw those statistics. And AJ, I think you can testify for that, but 20 typhoons yearly, obviously different severity, but still typhoons. 12,000 earthquakes as well, and quite a significant chunk of them, like being, I think, from level 5 to 7. 24 active volcanoes. So just to show that this is a landscape that's prone to a lot of disasters, and annually we're looking at $6.5 billion in economic loss. So this is huge, and I'm pretty sure that economic loss also comes from the lack of communications, because cell towers,
the downtime and stuff,
power grids, fiber optic cables, all gets damaged.
And the effect on your business, if you're running a business and you need roads and communication.
Have you your family members, maybe not you, but have you been across those kind of natural disasters, AJ?
Yeah, I mean, I know recently there was, I can't remember the name right now, but I know recently it was on the news that there was an active volcano, and there was a decent radius of people that needed to be relocated whilst that was happening. I know our family has actually been personally affected, sadly, during one of the earthquakes, one of my aunties actually had a seizure from epilepsy. It was brought on by the stress.
No, in that case, for example, what you need is obviously telephone. So being able to make a whatever 911 or 000 phone call.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll have access to Wi-Fi points. Highly critical. We're seeing all these disasters, these very difficult terrain to access, and yet we would think, there's no solution out there. If there's an earthquake, your fiber optic cable is going to break whatsoever. But I think there's quite a lot of innovation that's been happening recently. We touched on this a little bit, AJ, with aerostats. So those balloons that we can hook up in the sky. We also, looking at what are they called, Steve? Like a autonomous stratospheric.
Oh, these high altitude ones.
High altitude, yeah.
About? Yeah. I don't think the tech is quite there yet for them, but they're World Mobile joined.
High altitude
that's the one.
Platform.
So we basically work with, it's just basically a number of companies, quite some big companies like Boeing and all sorts of people coming together to try and solve these problems to get these high altitude systems working. From what I understood, the main problem there is sort of material science. So basically getting these things light enough, or battery efficiency, all this kind of thing, so that they can maintain high altitudes for very long periods. I think they're somewhere limited at the moment, from what I remember, something around
but there's a lot of progress
maybe a month
happening
or something. But you need them up there longer term than that.
Okay, if I can jump in, so practically on the ground, what does that look like? So say if this technology ends up coming to fruition, do we mean that this technology can sit in mountain areas? Because I know there's lots of mountains in the Philippines, and just wondering what that actually looks like.
Yeah, well, with this, we mentioned last time that there was a deal sort of made between Ditto Telecom and World Mobile, and as a part of that, there was it looked like that this was in conjunction, not so much the deal, but at least there seemed to be an understanding there that Starlink was going to be involved in providing satellite connectivity. So I assume this is the way they're going to connect most of the islands and more remote areas, is to have Starlink coverage. With that many typhoons a year, maybe the aerostats and that sort of thing wouldn't be a great solution for that area, but not 100%. I mean, you could certainly sort of reel them in and tuck them away in a bunker and protect them during that period, and then quickly fly them out again and get coverage. So that might work in some locations, but at least as far as we know, for the moment, I think it's Starlink in the Philippines, or perhaps other low Earth orbit companies as well.
Yeah, there are other providers, satellite internet provider, I think, in the Philippines that I've seen. But Starlink is what I think World Mobile is going to work with. We're waiting also for Project Kuiper from Amazon. So I don't know if you know, AJ, Amazon is also launching their own satellite constellation to provide internet around the world. They've done actually almost like the opposite of SpaceX, as I understand, where Starlink started launching all satellites. So I think we're up to 7,000 or 8,000 satellites now, but they slowly now trying to build a ground station, where Amazon went the other way around. They've got the ground stations ready. They've got access to obviously their own data center, own fiber. So I think they're really well positioned on the ground. And now Amazon is going to launch satellites, but that got delayed by a year. So I think 2026 is when the first satellites may become operational. But I remember Miki talking in an interview that World Mobile is definitely also in talks with Amazon. So that's exciting that we are able. So as you say, AJ, like World Mobile is not just a one type solution. It's really a dynamic hybrid model. Wherever we go, there's going to be different circumstances, and we will cater for those circumstances. whether we don't have access to spectrum, so we'll use Wi-Fi, or we have access to a certain spectrum, and then we leverage this, and all sort of things like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess it comes down to the local environment, topography, government regulations in the area. All sorts of things.
So, if I'm following correctly, just to make sure, like in layman's terms, basically, World Mobile is able to amplify existing providers, if you had to put it really plainly.
Yeah, I think there's really a combination of things. So World Mobile is building out their own network in places where they can at the moment, and starting small, and soon that's going to grow with Hex Guardians. So we'll have to get on to explaining to you about that in another episode. But certainly there are, yes, they're sort of working with existing smaller telcos coming on board. And maybe some bigger ones, I don't know, we'll see. Oh, they certainly have been working with Vodacom in Africa. Mm-hmm. So Vodacom is a subsidiary of Vodafone, and there's stuff there, but it seems to be top secret at the moment, but hopefully we'll find out soon. But there's certainly there's been some bits and pieces going in Mozambique and Nigeria and some other countries, yeah. And World Mobile started in Zanzibar. I don't know whether you've seen that video yet. I don't think you have, so we'll have to get you to watch that one as well. But yeah, you got anything to add there, Dave?
No, I mean, as you say, Jay, we would leverage of obviously backhauls, so internet providers such as Starlink or Vodacom or anyone else, but as I said, it's a totally hybrid model, so it will look very different wherever you go. Like all around the world, we'll have different technologies, different suppliers, different everything, and that brings a very rich environment. But the beauty of it is that all of those technologies communicate. The Ethernodes is really the aggregation node for one jurisdiction or country, where all that equipment will just come in and centralize and then redistribute. So the Earth nodes are the computers that will, get that traffic from the Ether node and then process all the information. So it all works together.
Yeah, I think perhaps the next episode we should start to explain to AJ the structure of this sort of thing, the Ether nodes, air nodes, and the Earth nodes, and we can run you through how all this sort of stuff fits together. At least at an overview level to start with. We'll see how we go. Yeah,
well, that sounds good. That's a perfect place to actually stop for this episode.
All right.
To end it, yeah. And then that's the next episode sorted. Awesome.
Yep. All right. Well,
thank you, AJ.
Guys. See you all next
Thanks, crew.
See you next.